Saint Benedict was born in Norcia, in Umbria, to the noble Norcia family, in the year 480. He had a twin sister named Scholastica. After the death of their mother, Benedict and his sister were raised by an elderly nurse named Cyrilla. It was Cyrilla who accompanied him to study in Rome, where he received guidance from wise teachers. However, Benedict didn't stay long in the Eternal City because he did not love the lively and superficial life that was led there. He cherished peace and tranquility and wanted to dedicate himself to prayer. So, he decided to retreat to the sharp mountains of the Lazio Apennines. He settled there with Cyrilla and a group of 13 monks. Many came to know of their presence and the miracles that occurred, and the place became increasingly visited. For this reason, Benedict decided to leave on his own, under the cover of night, to avoid being followed. He arrived in the Cimbruini Mountains, on the border between Lazio and Abruzzo. Here, he discovered an inaccessible small cave where he could retreat for prayer, and for 3 years, he lived as a hermit. Through prayer and fasting, he learned how to confront the 3 strongest temptations that every human faces: self-assertion, sensuality, and anger. He reconciled with his own soul and decided to return among men. Benedict was called and went to Vicovaro to restore a life in the convent according to holy principles. Upon his arrival, he found great disorder, and he realized that the monks had not come together out of true vocation. They did not welcome Benedict, as they saw him as someone who wanted to change their way of life against their will. One of them even added poison to his wine, but Benedict made the sign of the cross, and the glass shattered suddenly. The monk who had tried to poison him immediately repented and apologized. The saint forgave him, and everyone began to live according to Benedict's example, praying and working. Saint Benedict decided to leave Vicovaro and return to the Cimbruini Mountains. Upon his arrival, he discovered that many monks with strong faith and devotion had settled there and wanted him as their leader. During a moment of intimate prayer, Benedict realized that he had been called by the Lord to establish a monastic order with a rule. They began searching for a suitable place to build a monastery in accordance with God's will, and they chose to move to the hills of Subiaco. Benedict divided the monks into 12 work groups, each with its own leader. After a few years, each group had established its own monastery with orchards, gardens, and domestic animals, a kind of well-organized and cared-for village where the monks spent their days working, praying, and studying. Soon, they built a library filled with many ancient books skillfully transcribed by the monks. These texts encompassed all their knowledge and culture, from agriculture to masonry, and the care of domestic animals. Throughout Europe, many monasteries were built as centers of prayer, hospitality, and culture for pilgrims and those in need of assistance. The Benedictine rule was characterized by feelings of fraternity, respect, industry, and prayer. They organized themselves like a large family, with each member having a specific role. They believed that the weak should be helped while the strong should be encouraged to achieve their goals together. Monte Cassino was the final destination. According to tradition, Saint Benedict passed away on March 21, 547, approximately 40 days after the death of his sister Scholastica, with whom he shared a common burial. As recounted by Saint Gregory the Great, he died standing, supported by his disciples, after receiving communion. With his arms raised in prayer as he blessed them and imparted his final words, he became an inspiration to diverse Benedictine communities. They remember the anniversary of their founder's death on March 21, while the Roman Catholic Church officially celebrates his feast on July 11, ever since Pope Paul VI proclaimed Saint Benedict of Norcia as the patron saint of Europe on October 24, 1964. The Orthodox Church commemorates his feast on March 14.